Hey guys, Sprinter Doctor here. Welcome back to the channel. Do you have a Sprinter motorhome with swivel seats? Well, if you do, there's a chance that the seat wiring harness could be incorrectly routed. So what happens is when they build the motorhome, most of the time they take the seats out, and when they put the seats back in, sometimes they don't route the wiring harness correctly, and when you swivel the seats around, the wiring can get hung in the swivel mechanism and can short out the wires, damage the wires, and can cause all kinds of problems. So I have one of those today, and I want to walk you through some wiring repairs and show you how that's done. So let's get started. Okay, I've already unplugged the seat wiring harness, got it out from under the seat, and you can see it's damaged really badly. Some of the wires are completely severed, and luckily there's enough length on these harnesses that you can not have to pull the seat out. You can just get the harness out in the open under the seat and have plenty of room to work with. Okay, I have a body harness laying around from a damaged one, so I got a piece that I can use for wiring repairs off of. Alright, let me get my glasses on here. Okay, I already got me a little piece of wire for this little section. You can use any wire as long as it's the correct thickness of wire for the wire that you're repairing. So here I'm just going to strip this wire. You're going to twist the wire strands and twist those up real good. That way you don't have any strand of wire hanging out to the side or anything. And then what you're going to do, you're just going to cross the wires and then twist them together real good. And when you twist them together, just twist them together as tightly as you can. And the ends of the wire, you want to get those twisted down as good as you can so they're not sticking out as like a sharp point. Alright, and I use my power probe soldering iron. It's just what I like to use. It works well for me. And I recommend using solder flux. That will help make the solder joint better, and it's easier to solder that way. I don't know if it has to do with heat transfer or how it works, but it just seems like I have to hold the soldering iron on the wire for less time in order to get the solder to melt. So you just want to get that flux on the wires real good. You don't have to make like a real thick coat of it or anything, just a nice thin little coat of flux does the trick. Alright, put that up there like that. Let's see what we got down here. Get my soldering iron and get my solder. I like to use the thin solder. Comes in the tubes like that. You can just pull it out as you need it. And just hold your soldering iron on the copper wire. And you want to heat the wire. And then you just touch the solder to the wire and it will melt and go into the wire through capillary action. And you just want to have enough to get a good amount of solder to fill in all the wire. And I'll show you in a moment what it looks like after I get through soldering this. Basically, you want to get enough solder in there that where it's filling in all the empty space, but it's not dripping out, falling on the floor. So, alright, yeah, that looks pretty good. That's good. Here's the other one there. That don't look too bad. So if it looks like that, I think you're good to go. And you just want to cut off that damaged wire there. You don't want to solder any damaged wiring. The tape job looks a little ugly, but I promise it's good. Alright, let me strip this big fat wire here. I usually just strip off at least a ½ an inch of the insulation. There we go. Sometimes a little bit more. Twist that together real good. It just depends. Like on this big wire, maybe a little bit more than a 1/2 inch stripped off there. That way I can get plenty of wire to twist together. All right, let me strip this other piece right up here on the top there. And get that real good there. If it's a much smaller wire and you don't have a lot of room to work with, it's okay to, strip a little bit less insulation off of there, just as long as you get enough room to twist it together and get some solder on it. You don't have to get real picky with the length of wire that you want to solder together. All right, let me twist this up real good right up here. All right, get that good and tight. All right, let me bust out my repair harness here. Cut my donor section off of it. I strip that little end off before I cut it off, makes it a little bit easier. I'm just going to strip one end of my repair wire before I cut it off. Just makes it a little easier to strip that one end. And then I'll just cut off as much wire as I think I'm going to need to replace the damaged section. Again, you just want to heat the wire and not the solder. Then touch the solder to the copper wire, and if it's hot enough, it'll just melt in there and give you a good solder joint. Alright. Hey, I wonder, that's looking pretty good. I wonder if that's hot. Oh, yeah, that's hot. Okay, that's what it looks like after the repair. Get my heat shrink tubing on there. You don't want to stay in one spot with your fire. Yeah, that's after I got the heat shrink tubing done. And this is after I got my cloth tape on. Looks nice. Got everything soldered up real good. And when I route the wire back under the seat, I connect it and I route it under the seat cushion up there and zip tie it up to the bottom of the seat cushion there, and that will keep it up out of the way of the swivel mechanism and make sure that never gets caught. And that way you can swivel your seat around, move it forward and back. It should be good to go for the life of the van. And here I'll show you the view of it from the back. How when it's coming up through that hole right there, I just go up, zip tie it, up to the bottom of the seat cushion there, and keep that up out of the way of the swivel, and you'll be good to go. So that's it. Nothing too fancy or too hard about that. Just hopefully that'll help you. Thanks. All right, guys. Hope that was helpful. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below for any ideas on future videos that you would like to see, and I'll see you next time.